Does he stay in the lane? Is he able to use his elbow?
There's the tap taken by McNeil and Ohio State.
And Jim Nance ran him right down.
And they've won 5 of their last 6. What a surge here at the end of the year. And open up with a 3 from the top of the key, and it's way off the mark for Akpara.
That's one way of eliminating Edey during the course of the afternoon.
I think they'd be happy to give him that shot a few more times today. All right, now the Purdue Boilermakers.
Very active, playing well of late. Gillis, obviously, 2 guys making some threes. Nice pump.
From the wing, the 3 drops. How about that? Newman hits the opening shot for the Boilermakers.
Defense on the ball is generally tough as well, Grant.
You talk about Newman having the task here guarding Thornton. Probably the best perimeter defender for the Boilermakers.
Ohio State will control tempo. Fatigue a factor, lack of depth a factor.
There's the lob. And Akpara takes it, the feed from Thornton, who made the play.
And smart to put Zach Edey in screener roles. Obviously, Akpara has to be active. Great finish.
And normally you'd love to run him, Grant, but this is not going to be a running game for Ohio State.
They might even be more slow and deliberate with the injuries that they've had to Sensabaugh in particular.
His lawyer.
Well, they get him going. It's certainly going to help. Early in the year, knocking him down, a little bit of a struggle, maybe a fatigue factor hitting the wall, Jim.
Well, he averaged 12 a game, and there have been people that have suggested that. But he's able to hit his opening shot. They hit 2 threes here in the first minute and a half.
Both brothers can drill it, right? Foster as well. And offensive foul here on the cut.
And guys, you talk about Lawyer, just a great relocation, wide open 3. And you said it, he's been struggling 0 for 9 from the field in the last 2 games, but big time shot right there. And the 3-point shooting is so important because it gives Edey space inside to operate.
You mentioned Lawyer's brother, Foster, at Davidson, formerly at Michigan State. And there's a travel call against Purdue.
As you know, I've seen you play. You can't have much of a memory if you have a bad one, right? Play a couple of games, play a couple of shots. You didn't have too many of them, though.
You miss every shot you don't take.
I'm sure you used that on Coach K, right? That really went over well.
Thornton.
That's the same kind of a play.
No one there this time, but it's last touched by Gillis. This magical run, the lowest to ever make it into the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament is a 13 seed, and they won their quarterfinal game against Michigan State without Sensabaugh yesterday. He got injured in the second game here against Iowa, it was, after Wisconsin Wednesday night fell to the Buckeyes. Here's the shot outside, and the long rebound almost grabbed by Sewing. It was McNeil who fired it and missed it.
Yeah, he's got to make some, loosen things up. And this kid can turn it on, Smith. You are say goodnight when he's that close to the hoop.
That's Edey with a little hook over Akpara.
You know, the one limitation he has, he doesn't have much arc on his delivery.
He doesn't need it.
When you're looking down at the basket, how much arc do you need?
It's very tough. There's so many things you can do, and none of them work all the time. Nice follow.
Akpara at the rim. What a tap that was off the Thornton drive.
That's one thing in keeping Edey active, too. You got to help on that little dribble drive. Akpara can sneak in.
Back to Edey they go. In the paint. He's got another one.
And that's just too deep right there. 2 plays and possessions in a row where Edey gets great position. And Ohio State opting not to trap right now.
Maybe save one-on-one. You think saving it?
Probably.
A little dig anyhow.
These teams played twice during the regular season. The first one was a 2-point win back in January by Purdue. And then the Boilermakers blew them out a couple of weeks back, 82-55. Now the drive and the shot. And a foul called against Purdue. It's on Gillis. And Edey's got 2 buckets down low already, Raph.
Yeah, Brad, we talk about Edey just getting to his spot. You have a little bit more force, try to fight him off the block, but he catches his that low, and he loves that left shoulder. Great touch, great feel. Not so great arc, as Raph mentioned.
Roddy Gale at the line, the freshman from Alpharetta, Georgia. I beg your pardon, from Niagara Falls, New York, who had a season-high 15 against Michigan State yesterday and was 3 for 3 from 3. So he was one of those who stepped up in the absence of Sensabaugh.
No question about it. Chris telling the three of us, too, that he really worked hard in practice. 4-star recruit, cuts well. Number 2 shooting guard, some people were thinking. So big upside in his game, and he showed it.
Here's Smith. Driving past Gale. No, shut down. Back to Edey. And off the glass. Too strong. Made a nice little move down low.
Sure did. You know, Grant, also power maybe not trying to foul early. Let him have his way a little bit. Save that situation. A little slip. Trying to move him around.
Pursuing from the wing. He likes that spot.
And that's the guy that has to get going. He helped Ohio State against Michigan State get off to a great start. 8 of their first 10 points. Too good, too talented, and too important for the Buckeyes.
It's a little dribble handoff they love, and look at this. Just say goodnight.
Yeah, he's not going to miss it this time, and a foul.
You almost feel bad for McNeil.
Oh, boy.
But the most exciting weekend, the build-up and the lead-up to the selection show tomorrow night. I mean, everybody will be captivated watching and starting the bracket mania.
I can't wait. We'll be watching after we call the Big Ten championship game. It follows immediately after, exclusively on CBS.
I'm sure Kenny appreciates a nice little dump down. First up the rim. That's why he's a great offensive rebounder, too, because if you ever double the big guy, he slips in there. But Wickley's really appreciable of all the donations you've made for the program. Nice pass.
And another conversion by Akpara.
Very active, too. Slipped around as Edey caught ball watching.
Likely with the assist that time.
Morton on the floor now. Really a terrific defender. This kid lights it up, too. My goodness, he's a confident performer. Chesty kind of a little guy. Can put it on the deck, too, then create.
Mr. Indiana basketball last year was Braden Smith.
And they retired his jersey this year. Grant's got about 5 that have been retired.
Likely skips it all the way over to the other side to Gale, and he's got a Buckeye 3.
Oh, they found a player here, Grant.
That's your guy right there, playing with confidence here in this tournament.
Then he hit all 3 from the outside yesterday in the upset win over Michigan State.
Oh, nice.
That's got to be a foul, and it is.
Well, if you're going to get one around the rim, not out there.
Akpara whistled for it. Bracket season upon us. Show off your college hoops expertise this March by playing the official bracket game of the NCAA in the CBS Sports app and be part of the madness. Everyone is. So get ready for bracket madness.
How about the size disparity now on the floor? Eugene Brown coming in. Why me, coach, is probably what Eugene said. I got to play Edey.
Well, expect Ohio State to double-team Edey on the catch.
Purdue.
At least on the bounce. A little late and looking first. First.
Well, he's been double-teamed all season, Edey, so comfortable finding the open man and doing a great job there finding first.
He's a big-time recruit first, too. A lot of people want him, including Michigan State.
Got a couple of dunks already, thanks to Edey.
Good ball movement.
From the corner, that's another 3 by Gale.
And Suey with the nice extra loop. Get them organized. Right. They like that circle the wagon around that double high.
Yeah, that's a foul, and that's a second. That's actually going to be the first on Brown.
Pretty good on the double here, Grant.
Yeah, finding first and just finishing with authority there, and then obviously the extra ball movement. Both teams coming out firing early, playing confident on both ends of the floor.
4 out of 5 from 3 is Ohio State. 3 for 3 from outside is Purdue.
Eugene Brown, talking about disappearing. You cannot even see him behind there. And he does force a little deeper catch.
Underneath again, first with a third basket off the bench.
And I've been impressed with his activity, his energy. He started a bunch this season as Gillis has started here in the tournament, but first his activity and energy.
And he can bite outside, too. They're very good without the ball, knowledgeable.
Suing has first on him.
Just elevate.
There it is. There's the elevation. Oh, that almost dropped.
Ohio State really with great balance. They're not going to give up any easy one. This kid, they love him. Jenkins, good at getting in the lane, can make some shots, has been around.
There's Edey off the glass. And Jenkins yesterday hit 3 from the outside in 3 attempts, had 12 points against Rutgers.
Ohio State with great pace, too. Like he's so good.
He's done this now twice. And both times he set up on the opposite side. Gale to hit a 3, his third here in the opening minutes.
And Raft, I mean, likely is just backing down, baiting the double team and finding Gale wide open. Purdue maybe not want to double team so soon on that play.
Jenkins, 2 on him, and a charge.
Now the ability of Likely at Oklahoma State to back people then. He's got some physique. We all are a little jealous, but what a find here. Gale, my goodness, a star has arrived and risen. Big time delivery with the knockdown.
And he's able to draw the foul on Jenkins at the other end. So he's hit his last 6 over the last 2 days from 3-point land, and this game is tied here in the first 8 minutes.
Chris really excited about next year with these young guys that he has here. Everybody getting healthy a little bit. Key will be back at a couple of minutes. All of us chatting with him after his shoulder surgery.
Yeah, they lost him back in February. He was a big part of this team.
They also have a great class coming in next year here at Ohio State as well.
And they got a great AD there. Gene knows what he has, too. Nice little drive with some strength. Boy.
Likely +1.
You're unlikely to stop that guy when he turns that shoulder. And you cover the NFL, Jim. This kid's got a body. Fran Fraschilli used to call it a basketball player in a linebacker's body. Boy, big time strength, locks and all.
1,000-point score in his career, as you mentioned. Spent all those years at Oklahoma State. And now he's got a chance to make it a 3-point play.
And Jim, he's one of those guys that missed games this year. Had to go back home with some situations, too. I mean, they've had a plethora of difficulties, physical and sometimes off the court.
Yeah, keeping the same 5 on the floor. Ohio State has its first lead as we go under 12.
Right on the floor. He's a different look. He's got a power game, but can step outside, too.
Nice first. That was Likely, who denied 5 to shoot. Newman wanted to step back. Instead, the shot, yes. Oh, it's a charge.
I'll tell you, Raph, textbook defense by Ohio State, giving the #1 seed Boilermakers everything here early in Chicago.
Now just got to move them up off of that.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, absolutely. Penny's got a team that can make some noise. And we saw a Jamal Shed buzzer beater last Sunday, and hopefully a few more of those to come over the course of the next few weeks.
They come every year. Every year during the tournament.
Well, the one line, as was mentioned, Purdue trying to get out as a one. They haven't been one since 1996. And right now, most people figuring that Kansas, Houston, and Alabama are locks as one, and maybe it's either Purdue or UCLA for the 4th #1.
They had a pick and pop at the top for Brown. He gets it late. Good drive. I don't want to move. He's got some game, this kid, really. Explosive. And Georgia, big time, sending it in.
That was big time indeed. 13-4 run here by the Buckeyes. That was explosive.
They've got some confident players, Jimmy. They all can do some damage.
Jenkins, turn around. The shot is there. Back to the rim. Tapped around, and it's into the hands of Likely.
And Raph, this small ball lineup working wonders on both ends of the floor. The spacing offensively, creating opportunities, and Ohio State's picking them apart.
And they know they have to play together, too.
Both teams shooting over 65%.
All about chemistry, too. These kids hung together during tough shot here by Clyde. Ooh, good rundown, long threes.
As Brown kept it alive. And that's Gale now 4 for 4.
Oh, my goodness. This team playing with the utmost confidence. Chasing things down, hustling, scrapping. And all of a sudden, Edey back at the scorer's table.
Get it down low.
Turn and pace.
Up and rim. Get called for a charge for that last break. This time able to draw it. That hung on the rim for a while. But how about what we're seeing out of Roddy Gale?
And he is on fire right now, just confident, that spot there, and the awareness of his teammates to know that he's shooting the ball well, making sure that they get it to him, and feeling good on both ends, these Buckeyes.
Second foul on Brown. 2 free throws coming. Buckeyes lead by 7. CBS Tuesday, the FBIs are all new. FBI, FBI International, and FBI Most Wanted. 3 teams, 1 night. The FBIs all new Tuesday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
And there's something when you need one another, too. And this team needs one another, Ohio State. That extra pass.
What you talking about us?
We need a lot, no question about it.
But you make a point. I mean, the adversity, all that they've gone through this season, it brings them together. And it's been on display, fun to watch. And, you know, I don't want to bring this up, Jim, but 40 years ago, we saw a team in the ACC tournament that had to win.
That's a dagger.
I'm sorry. I just
April 4th, 1983, Albuquerque, you're talking about?
Well, I was saying that NC State had to win in their tournament to make the tournament.
Yes, they did.
And they did. And can the same thing possibly happen here?
A miracle run it was for Valvano's bunch, winning the championship.
First time I saw an adult cry at a ball game.
That was a young adult.
A little nickel dimer. Newman with the tag. You know, these leagues at this level make you tougher, I should say. You realize the closeness of games consistently, used to the pressure, comes easily.
Back out to Thornton, who's come up so big here in the last few weeks.
And nice job by Akpara. Gave that easy look on the drop defense by Edey.
On the floor, and who's going to be the aggressor here? It's a tie-up, and it's going to stay at this end.
And Raph, has been impressive, the energy that Ohio State's played with. They played a lot of games thus far, but no fatigue whatsoever. Just all effort, energy, multiple efforts.
We could play this pace, though, right now. Don't you think? No, but I agree. Every day it's...
Well, they're not getting up and down. Neither team wants to run and play fast break basketball, but they just outworked Purdue these last 5 minutes.
You know, just looking at Edey, I mean, when he loads up in the lane, he looks like a province in Canada. And he just dominates everything. I mean, Sampson comes to mind. How would you guard? So we need our boy Billis here. Because he had a little difficulty with Sampson too, I guess, right?
Everybody did.
Look at this stretch that Coach Holtman's team was able to withstand. They were 2-7 in January, 1-7 in February. Had a stretch of losing 14 out of 15. And yet they've rebounded.
There it is.
Edey, that was wildly thrown off the glass.
They're pushing him just a little bit. There's some presence with some physicality.
Ohio State, the stench of that game, February 19th, still around and trying to atone for that when they lost 82-55, and that's blocked.
Morton's such a great defender.
Morton.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you said it best, Morton. He takes pride on that matchup there, and great anticipation, blocking that shot without fouling, not giving up on the play, and that's his role. That's what he does, Coach.
And Thornton doesn't turn it over. 21-6 and no turnovers against Michigan State. I mean, this kid is flawless, running the show. They named him captain, Jim.
Mid-season.
Yeah.
As a freshman. Actually said we need to add here his right plate. And that rattles out.
Trying to pick up the pace just a little bit. Great balance by the Buckeyes.
With it back outside and throws it away.
A little too deep without anything. He's got to spin, dribble, and get it out of there.
Now you see it will be inbounded here to Likely, but you're just extolling what Thornton has done In the last 80 minutes here at the Big Ten tournament, he has not turned it over, Bill. He's had 13 assists and no turnovers as it comes out to him, and he gets it quickly over to Sewing, and he buries another three for Ohio State.
And that's just off the penetration. Likely creates the turnaround, the seek, the peak. Right on the money.
To Gillis, whips it inside. Nice pass.
And Purdue likes to enter the ball into Edey from the top. It's hard to double team from there as opposed to the side. Matt Painter, so many sets to get Edey the ball.
Who's fatigued when you're playing with this kind of confidence?
Absolutely.
Nicely watches it go out. It'll stay with the Buckeyes. We got the under 8 break. Trading the #1 overall pick in the draft to Carolina for 2 1s, 2 2s, and DJ Moore, who's a very fine wide receiver.
And 9 assists. I mentioned the little line on Gale. He has been flawless. 4 for 4 back on the floor. This is the little snake dribble they love. Just a little bounce pass maybe. And that's what the big guy can influence.
Trying to feed it to Akpara, but Edey able to steal it. Their first turnover in the last 11 minutes. And Ohio State, Lawyer knows where to go with it. There you go.
Great patience there by Lawyer. Just waiting for the opening to open up there. Edey, once again, just plants in that paint. Can't move him.
Hey, you don't have to be a lawyer to figure out where to go either. No fee involved.
This play right here has worked. Likely isolating here.
He's so good at that play.
Look at that one.
Powerful. I mean, he's got maybe, I'd say 20 pounds on Smith, can really bully him at that rim.
Again, he played 114 games with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
Nice pump, and he can shoot it. If he gets it going, boy, it'll be a different look over the top here.
Edey with the putback and the foul.
And that only happens if you have a soft, deft delivery on your jump shot. Tough to really ride him totally out. A little spin out by the big fella. Gets inside position. The rest is history.
Akpara, by the way, picked up his second. So the two guys they've been putting on Edey, Akpara and Brown, both with 2, with 6.5 to go in the first half.
And with his size and length, I mean, he averages 5 offensive rebounds a game. So you work so hard to not get him the ball, and then he just easily puts back 2. So his weapons, they're on the glass, Zach Edey.
His legs, by the way, you do not move him. He is entrenched when he settles.
I think you got to get him in some screen and roll, get him moving on defense.
I think that's why Brown is out there. Good call.
Sewing.
Nice replace. Gets available.
In the corner with Edey eyeing him. Trying to go baseline. It's not there.
Good footwork.
Hey, look at the big fella moving.
Gale had it knocked out of his hands. And here comes Purdue.
Yeah, wait for the franchise.
There he is. Right of first refusal is what they call it. They got to go to him, and that is off Purdue. Ohio State ball. Don't miss the original series Tulsa King, The Game, Star Trek, Picard, and a mountain of entertainment on Paramount Plus. What'd you see there, Grant?
Oh, Roddy Gale was matched up with Edey there on that seal, and he was lucky that he didn't get hit because giving up a lot of size and weight there, but
he may whiff on with his elbows, though. He's so tall. Same play. Kickback.
Circles around. Nothing there and gives it up.
Once again, Brown. Chris really riding this play, and you can't blame him.
1 second to shoot. Got it away in time, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Over to Trace.
Jim, Matt Painter is talking to the officials that he feels as though Edey is being fouled and they're not calling it. As for Chris Holtman, he feels that Edey is spending way too much time in the paint. It is difficult for these officials to figure out how to officiate Edey, not penalizing him for being 7-4, but also just being fair and consistent at the same time.
Okay, Edey has 10 points so far.
I can understand both cases. You know, he's paying taxes in Chicago in that 3-second lane on occasion. Why not?
Foul before the shot.
And we talked. Look at Gale down there fighting against Edey almost got caught with an elbow. And obviously right there, likely blocking his shot. And you see Ohio State swarming him every time he gets the ball. And you're right, how do you officiate that? 305 pounds, he's so big. He probably endures more contact than anybody.
Look at those wheels, too. You going to move him? Not at all.
1-1. He misses the second straight free throw.
Scrappy Ohio State, though. Loose, active.
Put Brandon Newman on likely now, a little bigger, stronger, can't push him and back him down like the smaller guards.
Let's dribble in.
Oh, that might be a first turnover for Thornton in 2.5 games. Yep.
A little dribble handoff.
Can we say the announcer jinx?
On you, or
Nice little hand in there. Now, do you give it to him or do you give it to Brown? It might be Brown.
I think Brown.
With the pass.
Had full control of that pass there.
Looks like they gave it to Brown.
And Brown's looking at him. I didn't sign up for this. Look at him down the low post. He's hip high here. They got the big roll. They love that dribble handoff. They give it to him.
The first. You gonna thump it? Nope. Gonna shoot it.
Lost it.
Good defense there by Sewing.
It's out of his hands on the way up.
They could get Sewing going a little bit too on this end.
Thornton.
Sewing. That setback.
Yeah, well done, but the shot's not there. And Newman with the rebound. Stutter step takeoff by Smith. Jumper, yes!
He's got some moxie.
Body's tangled with Edey falling on top of the Ohio State defender.
I think they're going to call it on Brown, too. Not much
Break. The foul was called on Brown of Ohio State. There's more than just a foul, Gene.
There is, Jim, and you see Eugene Brown there grabbing Zach Edey's left arm. Those are the plays that rise to the level of a flagrant foul. Excessive, not a real basketball play here. This is a classic kind of a hook and hold play. With that said, the basket's going to count. Purdue's going to shoot two, and they're going to get the ball out of bounds as well. Potential for a 7-point swing.
Wow.
Hey, Gene, was it Haas that maybe started the hook and hold? Remember he the big guy at Purdue a few years ago? I think he was taken down and in.
Yeah, you know, Rapid. Yeah, it did create some of that there with his size and then just trying to limit him. A lot of it, though, really was created with some of the guards, too, where they just do the, the little tricky hook and grab, real fast pulling the defender close to him. But officials have been trained now to focus, keep their eyes low from under the basket and look for those types of restrictions, especially when you have a size differential like Zach Edey presents.
Shame Gene wasn't as good when he was working game. Watching him,
Got him both. He's pretty darn good at what he's doing right now.
He was great.
All year long.
Coaches loved having him on the game.
Well, with Brown now with 3 fouls and Akpara on the bench with 2, Ohio State going very small and likely. Looks like he's tasked with guarding Edey. This should be interesting.
Hold on the floor.
Right back they go. The big Zach. They hit 3 early threes, did Purdue, in 3 attempts. They haven't attempted one since 5 minutes into the game.
A little zone look. Oh, there's that little discard legally, by the way. Look, he said, let everybody know he got slapped and hit.
Well, likely trying to get into his legs with his strength.
Ends up being a 6-point possession for Purdue to take the lead at 33-31.
Holding on the floor, one of those kids drives it. Can jump a passing lane on occasion on the other end and a pull-up.
Gale.
Pass missed. This kid loves the moment, huh? Found themselves a big-time performer looking forward.
He's just topped his 15-point effort of yesterday, which was the high-scoring effort of his freshman season. He's got a new mark, 16 and a half. Newman with a 3. That's the first miss from the outside of the game for Purdue.
And a little zone look. Got to be careful.
Ooh, that didn't feel good. And that's it. Oh, he got it. Newman got it.
Great anticipation. You're not trying to run. That's a no-no. You don't have the outlet pass causer. You got to dictate here. The passer's got to have that vision. Whether you like the call or not, Suey should have just eaten that ball.
It took a lot of courage for Newman to take that from Likely.
Absolutely,
It did,
that
Likely.
body.
More Likely call for a charge right there and having to fight against Edey inside. I mean, right now the momentum looks like Purdue getting back into this game.
Yeah, back to that man.
It's Jenkins. Back they go. Edey. One more time, one more basket.
They fronted, and the pass was so high, you couldn't negate. Likely is hurting a little bit running back, limping.
I'd be hurting too, trying to fight the big fella inside.
He's got 16 of the Boilermakers 35. There's that Morton.
Take the two, so good play, good look. Drop D, make him pay.
Ohio State, you got a double team inside. Oh,
Jenkins, who was on fire yesterday, hits another one from the outside today.
And they just love this kid's charm as well as ability to understand when he was recruited, you're going to have to fit in and run the show.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. The timeout call.
They harass the passer, obviously. We're trying to see what he thinks about how to guard this guy. Edey.
Thornton. Smothered coverage by Newman. And now Suing with 5 to shoot. And that's a 5 count. Gillis forced it. And they've been on this scoring run. Look what's happening this time. No buckets for Ohio State, but a 1-3. Turned it over 4 times.
Now, because of Edey, you forget how well this team does defend Purdue.
Lawyer hit the floor.
Well, then now what you have here to be a help, they will bite with a nice look.
Jenkins. Fakes going up with it. Now they get to the man they want. Edey.
Well, he had a kick out to Newman wide open in the corner. That's what makes them tough and opens things up, particularly for a guy like Gillis of late.
talk about the physicality of the Big Ten right here. Just setting screen, Lawyer knocked over. The refs allowing them to play. Understanding what's on the line, but look inside. Edey's wide open. You can't even see the defender behind him.
Unbelievable. He is a massive individual. A lot of charm, though. Would you agree?
Yes.
Great visit with him yesterday.
Big personality.
Didn't pick up a basketball until the 10th grade, Edey. And he only picked it up because he used it as cross-training for baseball. He was a baseball and hockey player.
Could you imagine up the bat with him looking at you?
Yeah, look who finally missed. Gale. That's his first miss of the game.
He's been a revelation, no question.
Jenkins on the drive. He's going to stay at this end with 43 seconds.
Not afraid to go to that bench either. And rotating his guards.
We have 2 this year to match the whole history.
I think you can put a blanket around a lot of these leagues around the country. Chris Northwestern had a great year.
They did.
Chris and Rutgers, Steve Pike was just such a keeper with that program.
To reach around unlikely.
Number 2, I believe.
I mean, if you're Ohio State, you're guarding the National Player of the Year 7'4" with a guard. It just tells you how depleted they are right now, and give Likely all the credit in the world fighting him, but just too much to handle.
And that's the 10th team foul on the Bucks. So 2 shots for Edey.
And they're really stripped of what they can do in terms of running the floor, keeping him busy. Speaking of coaches, huh?
Gene Cady.
Great sense of humor, this guy. He can bury you in one sentence.
6 times he was the Big Ten Coach of the Year.
That's got a little of his humor, too. Dry and
Sarcasm.
oh, yeah.
Played for him. I'd like to see Coach Cady get in the Hall of Fame one of these days. He's in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He's up once again for the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. Wouldn't be surprised. This might be the year. Let's hope so. Final 20 seconds of the first half.
Look at Likely trying to take the big guy. He does, too. left him up empty.
Well, that was influenced by that size. He had to shoot over, and now the last shot belongs to Purdue.
That's Jenkins in his moments.
Boy, he hurried it, but he buried it.
And how wise was Edey with that ball screen? He just stopped after half court.
Not in time. Pass should have taken the half-court heave, but what a finish to the first half by Purdue. 21-5 to close the half, fellas.
And how about Edey with the bump? Number 14 drilling at Jenkins. He has been around. And why not one more time in Chicago? A little nylon from deep.
Over to you, Tracy.
Thanks a lot. And Coach, Ohio State came out hot, but a big run for you guys. What changed down the stretch there?
Well, obviously, David Jenkins making a couple shots for us right there really lifted us. I thought our guys have done a good job of their recognition. They don't have a backup center and just trying to put that ball high. Then they swarm him and then just try to score to make good decisions right there and keep things simple. But they did a really good job in their ISOs, Ohio State did. Likely really affected us right there and broke us down and scored some and made some real nice passes. So we got to make that adjustment at halftime.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
A 16-point swing over the last 8 minutes. But here we go. McNeil has the ball. He was stalled early with 2 fouls. So not a factor in that first half. There are others who picked up the slack, though, like Gale.
Well, they need him, though, Jim. He can open up the D a little bit for some drives, the way he shoots the ball. Look at this matchup.
There's Thornton.
He didn't see the rim with the big guy.
And what about Thornton in that first half, Grant?
He really struggled. 0 for 4 from the field, didn't score. Likes to do his damage in the paint, but it's tough with Edey's presence in there defensively.
Nice show, Akpara, and a recovery.
Great shot fake.
Tapped up? No. I can't give them second chances. That's a no-no.
Here's one mismatch you're talking about as far as size goes. Here, look at this. Tracy and Zach yesterday.
You know what that tells you, though? You've got to beat him with affection.
And as they reach around on Sewing. Had a great visit with Sewing also. Who's a senior. You mentioned it, Billy, early. He's from Honolulu, went to Cal. Got his dad by the same name, Justice. He's come over from the islands to watch his son here at the Big Ten tournament, which could be the end of a really solid college career.
Look at how wide open he is. He's in the lane a while. He just stepped out. They do cut well for him where they spot up and forget about it.
Yeah,
I'll take over.
With the left hand. And Edey now with 19.
You can't speed him up at all. It just takes his time, very patient. And I've been impressed at how he reads the defense, Raph.
Solid kid, really a good teammate as well.
Buckeyes have missed their last 5 shots. As now going back to the start of into the first half, it's an 11-0 run.
I like this. Use the screen, maybe get an open look. The ducking's not going to work, and they got to reach in.
It's going to be on Newman. Second one on Newman. And what about the movement here?
I just love them diving and cutting, but nevertheless, how about that? We called Kareem the Skyhook. What are we going to dub that? I mean, that's just a down hook, maybe.
You saw 4 players around him, but he just took his time and gave what the defense, took what the defense gave him.
And look at the pressure they can assert. They are a good defensive team on a nice drop. They maybe got a hook there on Smith.
Well, Raph, when you have a 7'4", 305-pound guy at the rim, you can overplay a little bit, be aggressive. And they really have come out here in this second half and tried to dictate things to Ohio State on the defensive end.
Same thing, that's one worth trapping, but they don't do that with the big guy.
Oh, what a shot. That is McNeil.
He can make shots. So West Virginia being able to do it, can light it up. He's got some range.
Yep, 1,000-point score in his career at West Virginia.
Oh, that's too easy.
Tap back out to Gillis and Sewing with a hand in there.
Now, you talked about Thornton earlier having his trouble once he gets in that lane with the big guy. He's able to finish opportunities in that lane. Not easy, really. I think you've got to, around that Big Ten logo, as far as you want to go against him.
Second foul call against Sewing. That last basket at the other end by McNeil broke a 5-minute field goal drought.
Pinned down.
And there's McNeil trying to save it. Throws it into the backcourt.
He's very good with the lob in this situation.
Back out. Lawyer gets the feet set.
And he's had some looks, too.
Falls out of the hands of Edey. Now on the wing, Thornton. He's off the mark.
I like pushing the ball, though, Jim.
Thornton 0 for 6 from the field.
Yeah, he's struggling. And then we get a good, clean look before the big guy settles in there.
How about that little floater?
And that kid right there has some moxie, some confidence. Floater from the elbow. Dangerous time right now for Ohio State.
See if Suey can get going just a little bit. Here's the pin down from McNeil. And a load up for Suey.
Gale. Nifty ball handling and a reach and foul called on Lawyer. Look at this. Look at the height difference.
Goodness. That's not a pick. That's a wall.
Just get up to his hip is an accomplishment.
Of course, he's from Toronto. They call him, some of his teammates call him the Big Maple.
I like that.
As in the Maple Leaf, sure.
I still can't believe he played baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
And did he play tennis also?
Played a little bit of everything but basketball until 5 years ago. That's slapped out by Newman.
Good jump in the passing lane.
Yeah, it all happened kind of fast. He was just cross-training, decided to play a little bit of basketball, and says 6 months later he was at the IMG Academy. His whole life had changed.
And it was interesting talking to Matt Painter. He really sought out Purdue. Saw the legacy of great bigs, college bigs playing there, wanted to be a part of that.
Almost got Dickinson first, though. What a break for him in a way. Now that Dickinson has had a great career in Michigan.
One to shoot. McNeil. What a shot it is to beat the clock by fractions.
And Morton with great defense, though. Shake your head and go to the other end. Smith. Outside, it's Edey. Right back.
I
love that little dribble exchange, and the little guy
leads to 3.
He's going to have a great career, this kid.
He averaged 10 points, 4 assists his freshman year.
Shooting at 41% from 3 as well.
Purdue with his largest lead now, double digits at 11. McNeil thought about the step back, but Morton was on him.
He is a great defender.
Trying to shoot outside. Akara tapped out. It's Smith. Got 2 on 4, and here's a trailer.
Good decision.
And a reach in on McNeil, his 3rd.
And then, of course, where are you going to help from, obviously? That's the dilemma. So you got to pick somebody.
You got to do something different because he is just too big and he's too dominant.
And there he is, loaded up again.
That's Morton on the wing. And Edey with the putback. Oh, he missed a short one. Last touch by the Bucks.
No, that's the thing, too. You're from, he's going to get an offensive rebound.
Well, as dominant as he's been tonight, he's had about 3 or 4 at the rim there where he just hasn't been able to finish.
And just got to be careful of the back cut here. It'll be a double for one in the corner. I think a step and go the other.
Edey averages 13 rebounds a game. He's got 4 today, all of them at the offensive end.
And a slip 2 to the rim.
Set a screen. Try to free Smith. Goes to the other side to Newman. Working on McNeil.
Oh, he had it.
Paint, turn around, yes.
Kids have that shot, though.
He does. He made it a little harder for himself with that spin on that play, but a beautiful shot. Ohio State's going to have to figure out how to manufacture some points here now.
Likely. I got 2 on him for a second.
Double driving kick maybe on occasion. Nice little freeze play there.
Gale playing.
Like this kid.
With soaring confidence. Now 6 of 7 from the field. 5 of them threes. And he's got 18 for the game. That's his first 2-point bucket. Newman, who just hit one. Going to try to get that. Foot's on the line, by the way. 2-point shot.
He has stepped up at the end of the year. All of a sudden, they got a nice rotation to get Lawyer going, and they will only be better.
Ohio State going without Thornton at the moment. Akpara gives it up to Gale.
Got to score, really. They were at that point. Dangerous. Under 5.
Likely has to go back out. Sewing knows he has to take it. Long rebound out to Smith. He's going to wait.
Great field.
Got him open.
2 on him. Sets up Gillis. From the side. Short on the 3.
Great balance, too. Nothing easy. Jake Dibbler, John's brother on the sideline there. Chris John, great player.
Gale circling around. Going to take the shot over Edey.
Pretty good challenge, too. To Grant's point, he's got mobility.
And Edey also, he doesn't foul. As a big guy, he doesn't get in foul trouble. Knows how to be big without being too physical.
He's gotten so much better at that.
Forget about it.
And there he got 2 more.
There's the slip. No weak side attention. Too big a show and no recover.
Likely with Morton again following. Akpara will try it. Not there.
Not much going to work.
Purdue threatening to blow this wide open. Here's the lob.
Pretty good try at gathering, wasn't it?
This Wednesday, the new season of Survivor just getting started. Don't miss the epic challenges and the stunning game moves. A new Survivor airs Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. Akpara picks up his 3rd. And Thornton comes back on the floor for Ohio State.
I like their depth right now, Purdue, don't you?
I do.
Establishing backup at center with Brand.
3 Ohio State players with 3 fouls, including the 2 that they try to play in the post, Brown and Akpara.
Instead of with this small lineup, you think they'd play fast, but that's just not how Ohio State plays.
I think Jim has alluded to it too. How do you do that after day? I mean, very difficult anyhow.
Jenkins. Short on the shot, and that's going to belong to Ohio State. They need a spark. It's just gone flat for them since the 5-minute mark to go in the first half.
It's just too good inside, too many responses. Would you agree?
I agree. And Purdue, they're very good taking care of the ball, and they use the clock. They run the clock. They don't want to get up and down the court. They want to play in the half court.
Hey, Chris, with your attitude, at some point you would have said to the coach, I didn't sign up for this. I'm not going to that big guy.
Maybe Thornton will get his first points right here.
There you go.
3-pointer.
Chris, so enthusiastic on that sideline. Marvelous how he kept his balance, his team's balance. Despite some really rough going.
Pass deflected, short on the shot.
And just moved them out just a little bit, extra step.
Likely as Lawyer hit the floor. And that shot is short by Holden, and back comes Purdue.
Matt Painter telling his team, slow down. Clock is off, Rand. Let's execute. I wonder where the ball will go.
Just that you are right. Again, as Jim said, there's so many opportunities at the rim.
They call the pass to start off the possession to Edey the right of first refusal. You got to go there and then see what happens. And Painter telling us that yesterday.
After that, it's usually pretty good.
Here's Thornton. Pulled down by Edey.
One and done's too.
Now with 7 rebounds. Go along with his 23 points.
I think you have to maybe try to double team him on the catch or do something different defensively.
This is their favorite play. He rolls into the lane. A little dribble handoff.
Yes.
And there it is, you know.
Reach in, called on Holden. Finally, the under 12 hits us at 10-19.
I would too.
A little bit. You could, obviously. They're trying to get this kid going. He's a terrific shooter. A pretty good set and call. Plenty of room to attack. Sorry, Jeff.
This is the guy right here. He's got to get going.
Trying to. Not able to convert from 5. Underneath Holden. Back out to Sewing. He's got a 3 instead.
Nice find, 2 on the kick out.
If you're Ohio State, David Jenkins, he's the guy that not afraid to hit big shots. And Purdue's going to run different sets, but obviously rely on their perimeter more with Edey on the bench.
Eugene with 3. A little better matchup for him here. Red not bad either at that rim.
Good job by First to keep the possession at this end of the floor.
He gets after it, almost 2.
Jenkins, not this time. Foul at this end, and it's called on Brown. That'll be his 4th.
And get those puppies organized on that kick out. Real good rebounding kick. Got to get a little bit feistier now when you got time. Edey taking a blow.
Sewing has already graduated, earned a degree in psychology, playing his 131st college game. He could get another year out of the COVID extra year of eligibility, but this is probably it. As the hook shot doesn't go.
That really big on Braden, too. He's going to have a nice future here.
Ohio State shooting better from 3 than 2. Go figure. 9 out of 17.
Probably the influence of Edey in the low post, though. You're going to take it, a little giveaway by Jenkins.
By the way, Monday on CBS, grab your gear. Join the NCIS team to investigate a chemical attack on our nation. New episodes of NCIS, Monday at 9, 8 Central on CBS. 3-point shooting was a big part of the reason why the Buckeyes took out the Spartans yesterday. They shut down Michigan State from the outside while they hit 10 out of 19.
Tough one, tough movement.
Wow. Got a better shot. You think with Thornton struggling from the field and Edey on the bench, Thornton would maybe try to attack, get to the paint like he's done so well the last few games.
Now they're going to rest the big guy until less than the 8, maybe the immediate timeout. Turn and face.
Still fighting for it. Hook shot. Oh, down and out.
Good job. Para. Again, I don't think they have the legs to push it though. They'd be in a hurry.
I think you got to get Thornton downhill.
Holden. He gets in about 14 minutes a game. A little small change on First on the tag.
First matching up there with Sewing on his left hand. Sewing determined, though, still got around him.
5th team foul on Purdue, so Ohio State to inbound.
I first saw Sewing at Cal play UCLA. He jumped out. Really, that talented. Because injuries last year.
The abdominal injury.
Yeah, all sorts of problems. And kid who can make some shots outside, gets in that lane, too.
He scored when he was at Cal. Double-digit scorer starting his freshman year. 15 a game. Here he is again. Just hit a 3 a moment ago. Steps in and he gets fouled.
Well, you got to jump on his left first. You know best. He's a lefty. I like the other way.
But I like him not settling, attacking. His last 2 plays, he's driving, getting to the paint, and drawing fouls, being aggressive.
Jim Morton is really good, though. That scrape, and then he was ball side, ready to cover his guy.
Get back.
He's a talented kid on that end of the floor.
I didn't know you admired defense so much, man. More of an offensive guy.
I never thought about it when I played.
That gives Sewing 10 for the game, and back comes Edey.
With all the championships, that you've been involved at both levels, defense had to be addressed frequently, particularly in the college level, everything, right?
Oh, no question. If you didn't play defense, back at Duke when I played for Coach K, you didn't play.
What's he doing now? Did he get a job?
He says he's not retired. He's still active.
And he was a heck of a defensive coach, which was lost with the talent array that you guys had.
Oh, man.
Had a few National Defensive Players of the Year. in its time.
Who would they be? Do we know any?
Yeah, it's that Billy King.
Amaker, Battier, you know. I'm sure there is. I can't wait for that matchup.
This house will be red, too.
It will definitely be red.
I want to be loud, too. Here's 1-on-1 for Morton. Thornton. It's up high over Edey. Beautiful move by the freshman.
Nice attack. That drop defense paid for it.
A 7-point game. Ohio State.
Love their
some rhythm.
Love their heart, this group. And where do you go when in doubt?
Edey. That's where you go.
Just to think he could have been Bobby Orr.
First field goal for Boilermakers in 3.5.
Well, miscue. Trying to keep him active, and they moved him to the foul line, Edey, and big high kiss. Soft. It's amazing what these kids can do in that lane and around the rim, and payback is tough, and this kid loads them up. Maybe hook.
25 for Edey. Morton. He can hit that shot.
Nice rebound. A little late by Gillis, thought he had it. Takes advantage off the bounce there. Morton.
Ticky-tack foul on Morton.
Yeah, Newman coming right back in for him. Good defender as well.
Let's go over to Trace.
Jim, this Ohio State team not letting up. I listened into the huddle and Chris Holtman talking about how one possession at a time. They are right in this game. Isaiah Likely, a guy with veteran experience they brought in to be a voice for this team, telling his team to believe. They are just taking it one possession at a time. They feel they are still right in this game.
1-and-1 miss. Thank you, Trace. Edey with the rebound.
Big. Got to confirm with the shot from the clock. Stopped. Gillis has been really quiet tonight. And then other guys step up. So it makes them difficult. I think you can't key on one guy. Obviously, Edey. Dominant force.
There is Gillis, who quickly snaps it down low.
There's the counter, but I thought he'd go with the left hook, though, which he does.
I thought he would, too. I thought Akbar did a pretty decent job of trying to wall him up from my angle defensively.
Number 4, I believe it was on him.
Chris Holtman feels the same way.
What's there? He's looking up at the replay. He didn't see it. His player said the same thing. 2 shots coming up for Edey. 3 of 6 at the line in this game. 26 points. Here's the
drop step. I thought he'd go right with the left hand. Boy, if anything was after.
Yeah.
Got a good form on these free throw shots.
Great touch. Entry Grant. I think he's got promise on that next level someday, whenever he decides. I know the big man's supposed to make threes now.
I'll tell you, he shoots the ball like that. He might be shooting threes down the road.
Another whistle.
Not a smart play right there by Newman.
That really helps. Bails him out a little bit.
How many threes do you think Edey's taken on the year?
They can't look at your notes. None. Come on now. None.
None. That's correct.
That's called coaching.
Exactly.
Stay under there. You can.
Hey, son, if you look down and you're not in the paint, don't shoot. Now you wonder here if Thornton can convert on all these free throws. As Ohio State put a little light pressure, full court pressure on Purdue, who struggled mightily yesterday in the game in the second half against Rutgers.
Well, it keeps Edey out of it for a while, at least, you know. Maybe a good trap, maybe one jump of blessing, and we get back if it doesn't work.
They keep the possession on the long rebound and the tap out.
Nice dance here.
Morton, who had 21 against Michigan State, adds 2 more.
Stay away from the big. A nice little seal by Para, too.
9 for Thornton, all coming in this half. He's now gone 97 minutes, the last 97 minutes of playing time without a turnover. Edey, though, the answer back.
Looks the other way, Edey. He collapsed the defense. I think they got it. Yeah. This team shows you something, Ohio State.
Which team will show you something tonight? 8:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. The Lone Star State, where we're headed for UAB and Florida Atlantic. They battled out in this year's Conference USA men's title game for a ticket to the big stage. 1-on-1 coming up here for Para. Big.
You see the last few plays on Para, his length giving Edey a little bit of trouble inside, not fouling, just walling him up.
62%. That's his 16th free throw. Pretty good looking stroke. He would do that.
But it's a 6-point game.
I think Edey, they're going to have to go back to him inside of Para with 4 fouls.
Para's got to do his homework as early as possible now.
The lead had been 15 earlier in this half. Back to Edey. Oh, somehow it pops out.
That's just that extra nudge, extra step. Makes you pull that string a little bit.
There's Thornton. Trying to bring it back on his own, and Edey has another rebound. Got 9 rebounds, 8 of them coming in this half.
It's a little stressed now on Purdue. Who's going to take a shot?
Foul on Thornton.
Do you take the shot, but just move him just a little bit further out?
It was a good contest right there, too, without fouling, but that was Edey's go-to. Just couldn't convert. I love that, though. Just get them a little bit off their sweet spot. A little bit more uncomfortable on the catch.
Got to be there early, though, to do that. Don't you think? I mean, you just can't rest. Need them at the foul line. Easier said than done, obviously.
It's going to be a 1-on-1 for Edey. String music with the first one.
Joe Dean, right? Was it Joe Dean?
It's his big call.
Yeah.
String music.
From Kyle Macy from Lexington, KY. He was one of the first color analysts, really.
He really was.
Yeah, in the early days. Big in the SEC.
29 for Edey.
Great guy, I tell you.
Yeah.
Simple play now. Miguel can elevate if he stays at home with him. Just give him a little room. Now elevate. Don't go too deep.
Outside Sewing hit the side of the backboard.
It's perilous territory when you get near the rim without a decision. Back screen to get Edey to the floor.
Wow. Smith.
All the activity on the weak side, and Smith takes advantage, strong side.
Found that crease.
I think also,
which Edey helped clear the path for.
Roll him to the bucket. And that's when I think you can stand them up a little. Don't let them post up on that handoff. Stand your ground, force them to go behind you.
well, I agree, but the problem, Para right now with 4 fouls, you don't want to be too physical. You want to stay in the game, but you want to get him out of his spots. You got to do your work early defensively against Edey.
You got to look back screen, pin down, and you go, ooh, collision.
Sewing gets back to his feet and is fouled by Morton.
Not a good one either.
The Big Ten right
They
now.
rested him in that period. State got back in, but how many did he miss, as you mentioned, Jim, around the rim? I mean, countless.
Well, you want to monitor those minutes because 3:53 away from having another game tomorrow. As Purdue will try to win, if that's the case, they would try to win the conference tournament for only the second time, 1-09. They've had other chances, including last year, losing in the championship game to Iowa. Now, Ohio State at the line, suing to shoot 2.
I still think now with 3:53 left, you figure out, put in some full court pressure. Purdue has struggled against that.
Maybe big on the ball. Little corner trap. Now they're just backing off.
The season's on the line right here.
There was nothing else to play for Ohio State other than an NCAA bid trying to steal one with a 16-18 record.
I like that wrinkle there.
Yep.
Are you alluding to season on the brink?
A little Feinstein action.
Oh, trying to power through. Suing. It looks like Smith got hurt too.
For suing, that's going to be his third.
Trying to blow up that screen. Saying he was moving. Say the little guy is tough though. He don't mind taking a hit. He may have a point there, huh? A little quick jump to the spot.
Yep.
It's a 10th team foul on the Buckeyes, so 2 shots coming for Smith. Comes from a basketball family. His mom, Ginny, was Arkansas's Miss Basketball in high school back in 1997. She's a coach now. Westfield High School girls team.
Smith and Lawyer thrown into the fire this year as freshmen and have really delivered for Matt Boehner.
Absolutely. It's only going to help them too. Think of having those kids for 4 years. And Lawyer, again, talking about his ability to make shots a little bit off his game of late, but he can be really important tomorrow if they win, obviously, and down the stretch in the NCAAs.
Suing from way outside. And Edey didn't have to raise his arms to get that rebound. His 11th. One more point for Big Zach, and that will give him his 7th 30-10 game of the year. It's at 29 points. There's Newman. 3-pointer.
Well, they run some really nice action on the weak side. Keep you busy. End up with a shot on the strong side. Little curly Q. Gillis didn't get it, but ran his route.
Suing again. Puts it up. Bounces around twice, and Edey keeps adding to the stats.
Raph, to your point, when Purdue is knocking down 3-point shots,
you got no shot.
You got no shot. Edey playing like he does and shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
He loves it off the dribble. Not too many guys can do it.
Newman just hit one from the far side.
Look through the curl to the rim. Pretty play.
And Edey's got 31.
He worked for that offensive rebound. Grant, you had mentioned he's a pretty good offensive rebounder. A case in point here on this shot, he curls all the way around. It's inside position. You got to stay attached at least. He'll put you in the hoop.
And Raph, this year they talked about his better conditioning. When he's averaging 31 minutes a game for the season. He's about 32, 33 right now. But that conditioning helping on the offensive glass, where he averages 5 a game.
Akpara fouls out. And Edey now 7th game.
Of the 5, which are size offensive rebounds, would you say?
Maybe all of them.
7 games for Edey with at least 30 points and 10 rebounds. Wow. He's at 32 and 13. There's Brown. He's showing some outside game.
A little pick and pop. And of course, they're not going to bring the fan bases and really love their basketball.
And they were so dominant during the regular season. Although struggled towards the end, losing a few games.
They did. And by the way, Purdue at home. That you win at Purdue, you've accomplished a great. Did you play at all in the ACC Big Ten battles there?
Not at Purdue, no.
That just makes me afraid to go there.
Thornton with a nice save for Ohio State. They've got to do something in a hurry, and they've got a foul call that'll send Suing back for 2 more.
I think you guys played Michigan every year, too, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't you? That was sort of a series you had for a while.
We played Michigan a few times. Played them one time at Chrysler, I think, Jim.
Was there.
The late Billy Packer were on that call.
By the way, Billy Packer being remembered tonight at halftime of the ACC championship game. His kids will be there to accept recognition on behalf of their dad, who just passed away in late January, and of course a incredible teammate for all of us. I had 18 years to sit by his side, and Billy passed away in late January. But Mark and Liz and Brant, 3 kids, will be there tonight as Billy will be remembered.
I've known him since probably Wake Forest days, and just the class act. You two together, the knowledge both of you possessed about the tournament. We might as well take a walk around the block, man.
We love to talk history. We love history. We had a lot of fun. I love it dearly. There is the driving basket by Newman. Thank you for saying that, Rap. I've got to get my eyes and mind focused back on this game so I can get the words out. There's Gale with a nice shot. What a sign of the future for him today.
Stepping up. And it was interesting, Chris, saying you could see it in practice. There's others were more advanced. They will be back, and just admirable what they've been able to do, this team. Through the throws. I know you never suffered at it at all. But as a coach, it is amazing. First, you've got to get up, get your staff up on a consistent basis, and then get the players to believe and work hard. And what they were able to do down the stretch here, tribute to Chris Holtmann and his kids.
A great learning experience for Bruce Thornton, and Gale, and Akpara, freshman, thrown into the fire, really giving some life here, something to build upon. And as we talked with Chris Holtmann earlier, they've got a great class coming in next year. So
interesting that he was saying about staying with the young guys.
Yes.
They may, if somebody really jumps out, one for the portal, but they believe now, their philosophy is, hey, let's not necessarily reinvent, but build foundations here with young guys.
Well, I'll tell you, to go through the losing streak that they went through and to still compete and have the spirit that bench has says a lot about Chris Holtmann and his culture.
Absolutely.
There's a reach in. Gale.
You know, interesting, he's been coach of the year in each conference he's worked at. This may have been one of his better coaching jobs coming down the stretch, just to keep the kids involved.
Well, think about how you lose 14 out of 15 in the meat of your year in January and February, and yet you're able to rekindle something at the end and come into this game having won 5 out of the last 6 and knock out some teams that, well, Wisconsin was playing for a tournament bid. We don't know what the verdict will be on that, but to beat Iowa, to beat Michigan State, character. That's what it is. But you're right, all those years, Gardner Webb, he was the Big South Coach of the Year, Big East Coach of the Year at Butler, and of course he won the honor here at the Big Ten as well in the past. You know, big things are going to be coming right back around.
Speaking of big, Edey is out of the game.
And what about those numbers today? Just monster numbers, 32 and 14.
He's got a charm about him, too. Ideal teammate, it looks like.
Well, Holtmann said that confidence trumps tired legs, and I'm not sure it was fatigue that was the difference, as that's a foul on first. He just ran into a Purdue team right now that is also kind of flipped the script a little bit. They were struggling late in the end of the year. They won, well, they had a stretch of 7 games where they only won 3 times before the Big Ten tournament.
They're looking to get better at an important time of the year, obviously.
Exactly.
And I'm sure reflecting back at last year, what happened, that's in the back of their minds, too. You think of that little St. Peter's run.
St. Peter's, yeah. We got a chance to reset things a little bit for Purdue, you know, just... And obviously moving forward as Edey.
Might be a rebound. What are his numbers saying?
Gillis.
Oh, the blood. Just
I still think that somebody else on the bench who could come in.
I wonder if does he need a rebound maybe, or
he's got 32 and 14 rebounds.
Or maybe 15 is the magic number.
That's it.
Maybe he needs 7 assists for a triple double.
Yeah, he does have 3 assists.
I was right. He needs 7. This might be called a cameo.
Back to the inbounder, Gillis. Facing pressure. You mentioned, Grant, yesterday it wasn't that easy against Rutgers trying to get it up.
It was a 10-second violation, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Now, this is something for tomorrow for others. You know, should we get after them a little bit?
Potentially Indiana or Penn State. We saw that yesterday with Rutgers. I would have thought maybe Ohio State would have gone to this a little bit earlier, but we see Purdue struggling with that press offense.
Ball stolen for a moment by Newman, and then Thornton bumped into him.
He stole it back.
You don't want to bump into that kid.
No.
Wow. Right, that was a jump ball, so to speak. I wouldn't know who to give that foul to.
That was like going across the field right there and running into a linebacker.
Wow.
You're right, Rav. Which way do you call it?
Goodness. He's an imposing guy.
Newman has 13 points on the game.
I thought Newman, Jim, did a really good job, particularly when Likely got going in that first half and drawing double teams and breaking the isolation against one-on-one defense. Newman took the challenge and really neutralized Likely in his effectiveness there in the first half.
And Matt really upset he didn't get the 7 assists. So he took him out.
That's 12 and a half, 15 overall for Newman.
McNeil, launch.
Out to Thornton, give him one more try. Top of the key, no. Rebound first.
They're playing out.
And Purdue is heading back to the Big Ten title game. For the 4th time in 7 years, Purdue will play on Sunday at the Big Ten tournament. Now, they haven't won it in all these recent previous trips to the championship game. Haven't won it since '09, the only year they won it. But they've won the regular season by 3 games. They've won 2 games here in Chicago and looking for a 3rd tomorrow to make it Big Ten tournament title number 2 in program history.
Workman-like performance, really. Steady, even-keeled, and when in doubt, throw it inside.
Well, what a luxury to have the leading candidate for National Player of the Year play like a National Player of the Year. If he does that tomorrow, it's a good chance that Matt Painter will have 2.
The Leaning Tower of Canada.
I like you. We're getting closer. We'll have a few more candidates for that nickname tomorrow. That might be the leader. Ohio State led by 8 with 8 minutes remaining in the first half. 29-21, but then Purdue went 21-5 to close out the first half and in many ways never look back. I'll give Ohio State credit. They did inch back within 6 at one time late. Final margin here is 14. We go over to Tracy.
All right, this isn't fair. This is definitely not fair, but how do we not talk to you after the game you had? 25th double-double, 32 points, 14 rebounds. How were you able to take advantage today?
Yeah, I was able to get them in foul trouble early, their front court. They're playing super physical. That's kind of something that's going to come with it. They're a little undersized, so they have to play physical, but that's going to lead to some fouls. So they got in foul trouble, and now I was able to take advantage of that.
How well is this team playing as you guys head into the championship game tomorrow?
I think as well as we ever played. We got the same guys all year. Some people were freaking out because we lost a few games, but it's the same team we've always had. We got all the pieces we need. We just need to put it all together.
Indiana or Penn State, but how much would you like to face Indiana again and get that win?
They both mean something special to me. Penn State has Coach Shrews. Obviously, he's my guy. He coached me my freshman year. And Indiana, obviously, you always want to play Indiana. So either matchup would be great. I'm excited to look forward to this I'm excited to watch this next game.
Enjoy the win. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.